Okay, so it's recording. So I hope you can also now see my screen. Yeah. So the topic of today is actually reasons why you should not buy Bitcoin. And this is a list of, I think, 7 honest reasons why you should not buy Bitcoin now. And I believe once we go through these reasons and you're cool with it, then you go ahead and buy Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies that you so wish you may be interested on. And if you're not cool with one or more of the reasons, just stay away. So here we go. The first one is the price of Bitcoin is prone to massive drop from time to time, or is too volatile. Because we hear people saying Bitcoin is too volatile. It's the price is going up and down very, very, very much. It's actually extremely. They cannot maybe actually even handle the pressure of the ups and down. So Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, as a fact, has witnessed more than 80% drop in their value on the market. This has happened to Bitcoin, I think, more than actually 4 times now, not 4 times. Although over time, the prices recovers and it hits another all-time high. However, the periods of losses, that means if you sell, you only lose when you sell. They can be quite brutal. So going back in time, there are some people who bought Bitcoin at 2 million in 2017. 2017. After that, the price dipped down to about $3,800. And if they didn't have the long-term view, some of them actually sold at $3,000, $3,800 or $4,000 or even $5,000. Having noted that they bought the Bitcoin at 2 million. Now, today the price of Bitcoin is about $57,000. So it's all a matter of coming in for the long term. So if you cannot stomach such losses or rather such dips, you cannot wait or you cannot wait it out. Just stay away from Bitcoin from now, because you will actually give out the asset at a very cheap price, because that is actually what you should understand. It's for the long term. And then talking about an asset is that Bitcoin, that is the second reason. You may think Bitcoin is not an asset. That's why you should not buy Bitcoin. So an asset, in my understanding, is anything that puts money into your pocket. I think perhaps most of us here, I want to believe they understand what an asset is. Likewise, a liability is anything that makes money that takes money out of your pocket. Bitcoin is neither. So maybe I can take that again. An asset is, in my understanding, is anything that puts money into your pocket. Likewise, a liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. So Bitcoin is neither of that. I hope we understand that. Bitcoin is better understood as a stronger alternative to cash. A store of value instead of fiat currencies like pounds, dollars, and euros. So owning Bitcoin is not going to make you money by default. So owning Bitcoin is not going to make you more money by default. These are like owning things like stocks, which pays you dividends. People are expecting to make money with Bitcoin are either betting on its value increasing or decreasing. That's how traders now are making this as a business. They're betting on the price either increasing or decreasing. That's the trading. So remember, if you think Bitcoin is not an asset, then don't actually consider buying it or any other cryptocurrencies out there. Point number 3 is that sending your Bitcoin to a wrong address will make you lose it. So many people have lost their Bitcoins due to mistakes such as this. They send Bitcoin to a Bitcoin cash address, or you send Bitcoins to a Ethereum address, or you send Bitcoins to maybe a USDT address. Your funds actually will be gone in a simple sweep just by putting in that password and saying okay, and they move. Remember, they have to go through the blockchain ecosystem. And one thing that blockchain has is that anything that is gone through there cannot be reversed. It's immutable. So that's why you hear people saying you've lost your Bitcoins. So if you are clumsy with stuff, better stay away from crypto. Clumsy meaning you are not very keen on your password. You're not keen on storing your information properly. You need to basically hang around more and learn more. so that you don't get to experience such, because such mistakes are very expensive. Such mistakes are very expensive. So remember, if you are clumsy with stuff, if you're not very keen on details, and also wanted to know how you store your password and the likes, don't consider getting into crypto for now. Number 4 is that you need to invest in the safekeeping of large amounts of Bitcoin. So the more you grow the more you grow your holdings in Bitcoin, the more you have more of these Bitcoins. You should actually consider a stronger way of storing them. So Bitcoin are often bought on an exchange that we know. You buy Bitcoin from an exchange, whether it's Binance, whether it's local Bitcoin, whether it's another trader that you buy it from them. But most people keep their coins on the exchange. That is one thing that I've realized. While this is not the best safety of practices, it seems okay if the exchange is quite reputable and coins you own are not that much. So if you have maybe some small holdings of cryptocurrencies, well, you can actually put them in an exchange if you're not holding, let's say, 10 Bitcoins or 20 Bitcoins, or rather maybe even 100 Ethereums. You need to store them offline. So if you own, if what you own is huge, it is important to get your own cold wallet and store your coins offline. With this, we normally take you through. We have the Decrypt master classes. We have the sessions that we normally carry out, and we actually show you how to do all this. So remember, an exchange is where you buy and sell. You don't store Bitcoins in an exchange or rather other cryptocurrencies. The more holdings you get, don't keep them in an exchange. Number 5, some people may think mainstream market adoption is still very far. So if you think Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is still far from adoption, don't get into cryptocurrencies. So today, the crypto world fully talks about mainstream adoption. I talk about it. We talk about mainstream adoption here. But the mainstream adoption is becoming a reality at this time is acceptance of cryptocurrencies as a financial instruments. You've heard about DeFi. You've heard about NFTs, which I think I'll be talking to the last session of today. So that is what is going all around. So financial markets are now onboarding Bitcoin with consideration of others. You've heard about Ethereum. You heard about sushi coins. You have heard about how a lot of basket of cryptocurrencies, or rather DeFi coins that are being talked about there. However, there's still a long way to go when it comes to spending Bitcoin in the real world. So remember that it will likely take some time or more years for Bitcoin to become established as a real world medium of exchange. So you can actually calm your nerves and wait for that time to happen. You don't have to FOMO. You don't have to. It's not the end of life. So remember that. So remember, if you think mainstream adoption is still very far, don't get into cryptocurrencies. Number 6, the true value of Bitcoin. The true value of one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. So maybe this may take some people off guard, but I can simplify it further. The question a lot of traditional investors often ask is, what is the true value of one Bitcoin? And when they do, they expect to get an answer in US dollars or pounds or any other fiat currency. So over the past few years, Bitcoin existence, we have seen Bitcoin at $10. That is the exchange value. At $500, at $1,000, at 3.6 thousand, at $6,000, at 12,000, 20, 30, 40 to even $58,000 in no particular order. Judging by the cost of mining, so mining is another aspect that maybe we may need to explain further in one of the sessions. It should be difficult for Bitcoin to go below $5,000. So mining is basically the process of verification. I don't want to go into that right now, but you can always follow us for more information on that. But it has. So it's like $5,000 is the main, $5,000 is the main break-even point for anybody to run a mining facility. I think even in the news, I'll be sharing more information about mining. This is because the price of Bitcoin is dedicated by the market forces from the buyers and sellers. That is very important. So the fact is that the true value of one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, meaning it's one for one. Bitcoin is a feature of money. When you buy Bitcoin, you buy Bitcoin. You actually you just spend your dollars or your pounds or your Kenya shillings to buy one Bitcoin. You can only decide when you sell it or trade it with it, meaning you're trading it for another asset or for another cryptocurrency. You cannot really decide what the price will be in your local fiat currency in any particular time. And I like what one of the persons that I really learned a lot from is called Andreas Antonopoulos. He says Bitcoin doesn't have a price; it has an exchange rate. So the exchange rate can be whatever price, but at the bottom part of it, one Bitcoin is still one Bitcoin. Remember that. So the last reason, number 7, why actually you should not consider buying Bitcoin if you think that there are still regulatory challenges with Bitcoin. So if that is what is in your mind, you think there is still a whole lot of what is the government saying, what is ABCD, don't buy Bitcoin. And yes, as I said, there are still regulatory issues. The issue of the issue of ban or no ban has ceased a bit for now. There are still a lot of upheavals for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to climb before they become adopted fully by the government that we know. Because we can't actually blame ourselves because we are basically taught to get a directive or a direction from government. That is how the world is set up. But for people who want to step aside or step beyond the government, and that's how actually entrepreneurs think. You have to think out of the box. So basically, some regulations already exist in some countries. While a number of the regulations are positive, others are hoped to be reviewed later by the crypto community. So the regulatory challenge is still there and can send jitters to the market price of Bitcoin. That is evident. When somebody or a government says they're going to buy an ABCD or they're going to do XYZ, Bitcoin price or other meaning buyers or sellers either come in flux or live in flux. So as soon as that happens, the price of Bitcoin usually takes a dip or takes a spike. So if any of these reasons bother you, stay away from Bitcoin, as I said. So remember, if you think regulations are still challenges, that is number 7. Number 6, if you don't know that really the real value of one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, you actually don't. You need to understand more so you can actually get into it. Number 5 is that if you think mainstream market adoption is still very far, so with that, don't consider it. Number 4, if you need to invest in the safekeeping of large amounts of Bitcoin, so don't, as I say, have an approach of storing all your cryptocurrencies in an exchange or your Bitcoins. So if that's how you think, don't consider buying Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. Number 5, you need to be really key. If you are clumsy, if you are not keen to details, don't consider buying Bitcoin. Just take more and learn from any of our resource tools that we have, or even just by plugging here is actually you learning about those ins and outs of Bitcoin. And number 2, if you think Bitcoin is not an asset, so if you think Bitcoin is not an asset, you are very wrong, and actually you should never buy Bitcoin. And then number 1 is that if you are affected by the massive drop and spikes of Bitcoin, that is meaning it's too volatile, don't consider buying into cryptocurrency. So in summary, as I close, basically Bitcoin has already happened. Bitcoin you cannot have a world that has no Bitcoin. Bitcoin is already there. So it is growing every day. It is improving every day. So the least thing you can do is just to get an understanding, and that way you'll get to appreciate why you actually should get involved in Bitcoin. So that was my talk today. That was my part of the sharing today. So I hope that was valuable. Let me see if there are any questions in the chat for me to tackle. Let me just stop the share. And also, if you want this document, remember you can always ask for it. I can always share it to anyone who wants it. So let me see if there are any questions. If you want to any more clarity that I just shared, just let me know in the chat before we dive into the last part of the session, whereby we are talking about we're looking at the news that happened within the week. So anybody in the chat maybe wants me to clarify something, or maybe something they didn't understand, so I can maybe review it and also offer more clarity. So just remember, just type in on the chat, I'll see it. Then as I go to the second part, whereby we shall be going about what news actually happened within the week. So remember, just type in the question on the chat as I share the screen for the news. And the first news of the day is basically, let me see that. Okay, I think this one. Okay. The first news of the day, actually, it starts with the regulation. I think this is a problem here. Okay. So I think 4 days ago, we saw most big companies in South Africa actually moving out, because they believe South Africa is slow in regulating. So we had seen most companies going to South Africa to set up, like the trading platforms, the exchange platforms in South Africa. Now I think they are moving out to Singapore and the UK, because they have seen there is frustration in terms of oversight. That's how Al Jazeera had actually shared, I think 4 days ago. So South Africa also has seen many scams within the cryptocurrency industry. We talk about how to get to stay away from scams. This is actually one of the reasons why there's a delay in adoption, because people are coming in for the wrong reasons, and you can see it out there. So you can see from the news from Al Jazeera, the top banks in South Africa have all backed regulatory efforts to develop a framework for crypto assets, but are currently split in the approach to industry players. So that's what is currently happening within South Africa, and it's something that I'll be keeping track to see where it is going. But it's good. It's a good step in the direction. The other country is India. We just talked earlier about regulations. Some people fear regulations, but India's Bitcoin exchange breathed a sigh of relief as government reconsiders crypto ban. So India has been known as a country that actually puts a blanket ban, and that normally affects the Bitcoin adoption in India. And we know India, they're very good in terms of software development, and I think they are like, okay, they may miss out on the blockchain technology that is now where Bitcoin stems from. So as the Indian finance minister tones down the government previous position that fully fears of crypto adoption ban, India's crypto industry welcomed the remarks as a sign that a regulatory framework is in the making. So they actually chosen to take another approach, that is India. So he said that India's finance minister said that the government encourages a window of experiment for crypto. So Indian crypto industry is presently told Decrypt, that is this news website. It could mean that a total ban is off the table, because that's what they were considering earlier. So after much speculation whether India will introduce a blanket ban on crypto, the government has finally dropped a major hint that it will not do so, which is good. It's very good. It's actually it will encourage more people to consider it. So for that, you can actually ask for the link. I'll share it for further information. Moving forward, Ethereum whales hold 68% of the total Ethereum supply. So who are the whales? Whales are people who basically hold a big amount of Ethereum. So you can realize that this is as per the news site saying that as you know, Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency. So abroad, a rebound today as actually it has gone up more than $2,000 in the past recent weeks, with at least 10,000 Ethereum now. That is addresses. That is 68%. So you can imagine 68% of Ethereum addresses hold more than 10,000 amount of Ethereum. That is according to data published by analytic firm called Sentiment. So Ethereum whales are now holding the highest percentage of Ethereum supply since November 2017. On the other hand, Ethereum addresses holding 10,000 Ethereum tokens have reached the lowest since September 2017. So that's basically some analysis on how Ethereum holders are faring. This also comes about because Ethereum is going to see an upgrade. That is, as you can see there on the news, Vitalik Buterin touts 100 times scaling solution for Ethereum. So Vitalik Buterin is confident that rolls up will help solve Ethereum scalability issues and bridge the gap to Ethereum 2.0. So there's going to be an upgrade to Ethereum 2.0. In brief, as you can see over there, the co-founder of Ethereum has said that rollups are due to be released soon. According to Buterin, the layer 2 solution will help Ethereum scale by 100 times before shading is introduced. So that is what is happening. It's like an improved version of Ethereum, which actually Bitcoin is also always having versions every day. I think we are now in version 2.10 in for Bitcoin. Maybe I can share that later. On to another news. Earlier, I talked about mining. So we have some farm in the US called Agro Blockchain buys 320 acres land plot in Texas to expand mining operations. So the acquisition will provide Agro with access up to an additional of 200 megawatts of cheap renewable electrical power. Because for you to mine cryptocurrency, you need power. You need actually cheap power. So who is Agro? It's a public listed mining company. Agro Blockchain has finalized its acquisition for a new 320 acres plot in West Texas of the United States, which it plans to use it for construction of a new 200 megawatt cryptocurrency mining facility. So I had some people talk about Bitcoin mining not being profitable, yet here you see big firms actually going big into it. So news of the planned acquisition first broke actually in mid-February after Agro entered into a letter of intent with DPN, the C of New York. I think that's the details of the. So the price of acquisition is what, $5 million. That is what they actually initially talked about, $5 million for the 320 acres worth of land to put up a mining facility. So that is actually impressive for them. Another news in Bitcoin 2021. Bitcoin network settled on average more than $10 billion every day in terms of transactions. So this number refers to BTC actually changing hands. It adjusts for change volume and transaction between addresses of a single network participant. So that is $10 billion of Bitcoin moved every day for the year 2021 so far. That's really a very big improvement basing from where we're coming from. To other news, the number of Bitcoin ATMs in the US rose by 177% over the past year. So Bitcoin ATMs is actually one of the ways you can use to either buy or liquidate your Bitcoin. So since 1st of March 2020, the number of new Bitcoin ATM installs wallet is nearing 10,000, according to the latest data from Coin ATM Rad. Actually, there's a website. Actually, I'd open it. Let me see right now. It's there. So at the moment, you are seeing we have more than 16,713 ATMs worldwide. So the site is called coinmradar.com. You can see the number of Bitcoin ATMs spread across the world. That's how the website is. So it keeps tracks, it maintains a record of how many Bitcoin ATMs are there. As you can see over there, you can see Kenya. Let me see if I can zoom in. Ethiopia has 2, I think. Actually, it's Djibouti, not Kenya. And then Kenya, I think, has 1 or 2. Let me see. But I don't know whether they are functional. So you can see over there. So it says there was 1, but I don't think it's not in operation. So basically, that was the point about ATMs. So you can always check on Coin ATM Radar. If you go to maybe France, if you go to Germany, you can use this website to locate ATMs and from wherever you are. Moving on, we actually talked about CBDCs early in the year, and you can see Chinese banks pilot digital yuan at Shanghai department stores. So the Bank of Communications of India, that is Chinese Commercial Bank, conducted digital yuan trials at the 2 major department stores in Shanghai. So that is the government of China trying out digital currencies, CBDCs. They are actually acting, they are actually doing work to test how these CBDCs are going to work. So that is with that. Moving forward, Jim Rogers regrets not buying Bitcoin once governments may outlaw cryptocurrencies. You can see it's a whole thing we talk about. Some people want to outlaw it, some people want to encourage it. So it all depends on where do you want to set yourself? Where do you want to be in this part of the story? So Jim Rogers is actually one of the biggest investor. Is a renowned investor who co-founded the Quantum Fund with the billionaire investor George Soros. Maybe some of you may know George Soros. Now regrets not buying Bitcoin. However, he's still worried that governments can outlaw Bitcoin if it becomes a viable currency. So that is what, as we know, the old school investors think. But slowly they are actually easing up. We saw earlier, I think in the week, about Skiff and a couple of Shark Tank investors actually buying Bitcoin in big amounts. Moving forward, students in Georgia said to be taught about crypto at a high school. So high school students in Georgia look set to be taught about crypto after a new financial literacy program was approved by the Georgia House of Representatives. So you can see here, some governments actually smart enough to start introducing cryptocurrencies in their courses, which is actually quite commendable from them. And this is actually putting them ahead of the curve. So the Georgia House of Representatives has passed a bill that calls for state education officials to implement a study program based around financial literacy for high schoolers. And cryptocurrency is on its curriculum list. I think also France, early we covered it here, they actually already have the curriculum in their within their system. So this is how I wish Kenya and African countries actually would adopt such a tech. But of course, we have to go through the system. We have to fight them first before they get to join us. Moving forward, I think we talked about this earlier. Peter Schiff's son moves 100% of his portfolio into Bitcoin. So Peter Schiff is actually one of the Bitcoin and also all the investors within the. Actually, is a gold. Is majors on gold and also the Wall Street. So Spencer Schiff, the son of Goldberg and major Bitcoin critic, Peter Schiff seems to have decided to move all his portfolio investors into a single asset Bitcoin. So he said actually through a tweet that my son went all in on Bitcoin on the last drop below 50K. 100% of his portfolio is now on Bitcoin. Goldberg Skiff announced on Wednesday on Twitter, the former Bitcoin skeptic specified that his son sold the last of his silver stocks for cash. Then, of course, I believe he bought into Bitcoin, which I think the son knows what it means for the future. He knows the value of Bitcoin. That's why he's confident enough to put in. So Skip went to expense concerned over investment choices of younger generation, stating, if my own son is brainwashed, imagine how vulnerable most kids are. He's holding to infinity or bust, meaning he's actually in for the long term. He understands the long-term value of this asset. That's why he's going all in. So the crypto community has welcomed the announcement, with many people expressing confidence that 100% of Bitcoin investors will make Skip's son richer than him, which is true in my opinion. So I think we actually share most of this information every day on our daily market thoughts on the Telegram channel. Maybe Lawrence can later share the link for that Telegram channel here, or maybe I can share it before the session ends. So another news, maybe you may know who this guy is. So the younger son of legendary John Lennon from Beatles, I think we know the Beatles band. So his son is called Sin Lennon, seems to have officially joined the ranks of Bitcoiners. He has tagged Bitcoin in his Twitter bio and supporting the Lesser Eyes flash mob. I think he put a tag of Bitcoin on his profile. So that is actually you can see how the shift is happening, the digital shift that we talk about on Decrypt. The shift happening in terms of investment, in terms of finance, in terms of currency and exchange, and that's where it's our joy for us to take you through. So this actually validates how the world is shifting. So on Sinon's Twitter's profile, the word Bitcoin has appeared in his bio section, and the profile photograph of John Lennon's son show the laser eyes. So the laser eyes is what you see over there. Zora has been actually going through our Twitter how Bitcoin proponents have actually been uploading the profiles to show how Bitcoin is on a laser move. Moving forward, I think JPG file sells for $69 million dollars as NFT money gathers pace. So I talked earlier about NFT, and I'm sure many people will be asking, what are these NFTs? Just so you know, a JPEG file, it's like an art, sold for $69 million. The last, I think it was an auction. That's how you can see it over there. That's the art. So every day, the first 500 days is a collage of the images that the first artist known as Bip has been posting online every day since 2007. So this is an artist who he actually put together all his photos that he's been posting online from 2022 to from 2007. And that art sold via the NFT, that is non-fungible tokens, which I think I'm going to talk about briefly before I look at the chat for any questions. So what are NFTs? I think it's here. Let me go back to that. I hope you can see the screen right now on what are NFTs. So in definition, non-fungible tokens are basically they are basically cryptographic assets on blockchain with the unique identification codes and metadata that distinguishes them from each other. Unlike cryptocurrencies, they cannot be traded or exchanged at equivalency. This differs from fungible tokens like cryptocurrencies, which are identical to each other and therefore can be used as a medium for commercial transactions. So this is like a contract or rather a way of solidifying a transaction for a product. So NFTs are unique cryptographic tokens that exist on a blockchain and cannot be replicated. That is number one. Secondly, NFTs can be used to represent real-world items like artwork and real estate. That is number two. And number three, tokenizing these real-world tangible assets allows them to be bought, sold, and traded more efficiently while reducing the probability of fraud. NFTs can also be used to represent people's identities, property rights, and more. So maybe perhaps we can have a session here about NFTs as we go by for you to have a more understanding. So another one again, former DC comic book artist fetches another 1.85 million auctioning Wonder Woman NFTs. So you can see where art is heading, where art is going. So the former comic artist Jose Delbo made $1.8 million in 4 days auctioning 914 NFTs depicting a popular fiction heroine one. So he actually did, I think that's the one. Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah, so that is what he actually designed digitally and also now sold it for $1.8 million in auction. So that is where the world is heading into. So I think with that was actually I think quite informative today. Let me see on the charts who is whether we are together. Yeah, so I've been talking for now, what, 39 minutes, 40 minutes. So let me get also to hear from you as we come to the close of the session today. So I hope you can still together. So any clarification, any thing that maybe may want me to go through? Because I went through the first part of the why you should not buy Bitcoin, and then now we looked up basically the news all over the world within the week. So our joy is to keep informing you, keep giving you the right information as you get to experience this cryptocurrency world, where to start, how to progress, and also how to grow your value within the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Because it's at the end of it all, it's all about what is in for you, what is in for me, because this ecosystem is growing. So any question, anything that maybe you may want me to clarify as we come to a close? So let me see from the chat. So I haven't seen any chat, so I believe we are all good. If you have any thoughts about lessons or other topics you want us to cover, feel free to let us know so that at least we can do some bit of research, then also come and also share with you. So thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Lemon, Patricia, Claudia, Agnes, Makio, Ugo. I think you've been here with us every day. Lewis, Kate, Jen, Lilian, Christine, Jilani. How is it going, Christine? How is Mombasa? Manish, I think you came in a bit late, but I have this recording, so I will be uploading it on our YouTube channel. Thank you again, Emily. Lulu is there, Titus. So thank you very much. And if there's no any other question from you guys, I think I'll will end there. Then remember to sorry, let me just post the Telegram channel for you to check it out. Let me just post the Telegram channel, or rather, let me just give me a minute. I just post the Telegram channel for you to join in, because that's where we usually share our content. So just share, because if you want to get to know what our thoughts every day on how the market is doing, you can join. I've shared the link on the chat, so you can just join the channel. Then with that, thank you very much. Have a blessed weekend ahead, and hope to see you. So Hugo says, what are the chances of these new cryptocurrencies since Bitcoin kept? Okay, Hugo, you're saying, what are the chances of these new cryptocurrency since Bitcoin kept the same dominance? So I don't really get what you're asking, Hugo. Maybe you can rephrase it properly. Because Bitcoin actually is the most dominating cryptocurrency at the moment, enjoying more than 60% of the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So I don't know whether you're asking what are the chances of other cryptocurrencies enjoying the same growth as Bitcoin or what? Maybe just clarify it more. Yeah, thank you, Christine. Great to have you. We always do this every Saturday, so hope to see you next Saturday again. So Hugo, maybe you can clarify your question. So Jen Bogo asks, is smart contract genuine? So smart contract is a arbitrary word meaning a smart contract. So Ethereum, Bitcoin, all these cryptocurrencies are smart contracts. Now you need to understand what kind of smart contracts you are doing. What is the value of that smart contract? What is the basis of the smart contract? I don't know. You are asking in what context, Jen? Because when you say a smart contract, do you mean a company? Do you mean a token? What do you mean exactly? Because as I said, smart contract is just a digital representation of a agreement or some rules that are set by a system. So I don't know what you mean when you say is smart contract genuine. Thank you, Lewis. Good to see you. Good to have you here. So let me see. Perhaps Hugo and Jen, maybe just rephrase your question properly, so that at least I can be able to respond to you accordingly. Otherwise, we appreciate your presence here. We appreciate your presence. Always happy to give all this information for you. Or maybe I can actually, if you want to say a word, I can actually just raise your hand so that I can unmute you. So that maybe you can ask it verbally. Maybe that could be the challenge. Maybe typing you're not bringing out properly. So Hugo, if you want to ask it verbally, just ask me to unmute you. Okay, let me unmute. I can see. Let me unmute Jen. Yes, Jen. Let me see. Jen Bugwa. Okay. Okay, I think you can unmute now. Then we get to Hugo. Go ahead, Jen. I've muted you.
Good morning. When I was asking about a smart contract, it's a business that was being introduced by a lady, and there's this company, it calls itself Forsage.
Yes.
They claim to assist the members to accumulate Ethereum through a smart contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I didn't completely understand. I saw it a bit complicated.
Yes.
But now with the news of the Ethereum value going up,
Yeah.
maybe it's something that somebody needs to have the right information.
That's true, Jed. I think I appreciate your question, also your concern. You actually put it clearly. They claim to do X, Y, Z. So if a company says they're doing X, Y, Z, you need to know what is the underlying value. Ethereum, as we know, is not a company. Is not Ethereum is just a cloud computing platform. There's no CEO, there's no manager, we have developers spread across the world. So they're just using the Ethereum platform to develop their contracts, or their maybe they ought to use is their applications. You've heard about DeFi, you've heard about NFTs. So all these systems, all these contracts are carried out on the Ethereum platform. So when somebody comes and tells you they are helping you get more Ethereum by having their own side system, that of course is deceiving, or rather misdirecting you. If you want to get Ethereum, there's no free money, there's no free Bitcoin, there's no free Ethereum, there's no free. You have to do something. You have to either buy it, you have to either offer a service and get paid with the token, or you can mine it. So I don't believe in people who tell you they are doing XYZ to enable you to earn more, or rather, so it's not really, as long as it's a company, there are red flags. What you need to ask is two questions. What is the company doing? What is the contract doing? Is it a real estate contract? Is it a financial contract? Is it what contract it is? Can you verify it on the blockchain? That's another thing. Because remember, it's a decentralized system. So these are some things you need to ask them. But thank God you are here. We're able to give you all these nitty-gritty information that for you to be more informed. Hope that's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So Ugo, you had asked something about. Let me unmute you. I think you're back now. So you can go ahead and unmute yourself, Ugo. Just rephrase your question. I didn't quite clearly get it.
Yeah, thank you so much, and good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Like today's topic is all about why I should not buy a Bitcoin. Now, my question is, recently, because this forum is giving me a great insight about cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
And every day my interest goes up.
Yeah.
Every day my interest is turned to everything concerning this, because I'm seeing a great opportunity.
Yes.
To revise my financial stress.
Yeah.
Now, in the course of this my curiosity, I discovered that there are other little coins too in the cryptocurrency that is springing up. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, with the great dominance of Bitcoin, what are the chances of all these various little ones that are coming up and others? What are their chances? I know that the one that is a bit closer to Bitcoin is Ethereum.
Yes.
But what are the chances? What are the chances? If you read all the news, it's about so company, it's about to invest. So business mango is about to invest in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
If everybody or all the big money shots that keep investing in Bitcoin, what are the chances of all these small ones that are springing up?
Okay, that's a good question, Ugo. I think I now get what you're asking exactly. Maybe to answer you is first of all, look at it this way. Bitcoin has been there now for these 12 years of Bitcoin existence. Bitcoin has grown its market share by not marketing to anyone. It has grown by its own fundamentals. Now, if you look at all these other cryptocurrencies, the small they are coming up, they all have their own space in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So all these cryptocurrencies, they are all trying to secure a space on the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Remember, you're still at the early phase of adoption. Now, not all of these other cryptocurrencies, we call them alternative coins, altcoins, will actually make it, or rather see even 1 year or 2 years. Some after 2 months will go away. Some after 6 months will go away. Some after 1 year will go away. Some after 5 years will go away. So it's a matter of what is the actual use case that is actually solving within the society. Because Bitcoin has actually proved itself as the digital store of value. It's the number one cryptocurrency. But we have others, Ethereum, as you say. We have ADA. We have very many others. So you need to go through some key pointers to know which are best to buy or to hold. And that is actually takes a lot of work, and that's actually part of what Decrypt as a company we do. So it will be great to. I think you've also gone away, but I think I'll see. You're on our channel, so I think just see how you can. But of course, anybody who was here, I think maybe that also would help you understand what he was asking. Of course, we have very many other cryptocurrencies, and there'll be more, but only few will see the light of day. Very few will be there the next 3 years, the next 5 years, based on how useful they are. So that I think answers Ugo, but I think unfortunately he's not there. But I'll see how to get back to him. But all in all, thank you very much. It's been an insightful session. I'm grateful to have given me this chance. I'll be posting the video online on our channel, and wishing you a blessed weekend ahead, Sunday too. And then yeah, thank you, and bye bye. I appreciate it.